All right, today we're going to talk about something that gets so many of us stuck. We're talking about the money anxiety loop, and most importantly, how we can finally break free and actually start building wealth.
So, does this sound like you? You've spent hours, maybe even weeks, diving down the rabbit hole. You know all about compound interest, you get what a Roth IRA is, you've compared all the big brokerages. And then, after all that incredible research, you do nothing. You're just frozen.
If that's you, you're probably caught in something called the money anxiety loop. And it's a really vicious cycle. See, just thinking about investing makes you stressed, so you put it off, you avoid it. But avoiding it just makes you more anxious because deep down, you know you should be doing something, right? And that just sends you right back to square one. More research, more overwhelm, more stress. And here's what you've got to understand. This is so important. You're not lazy. You're not dumb. The problem isn't that you don't have enough information. The trap is thinking that just one more article or one more video is going to finally be the thing that makes you feel 100% ready, but it won't. The real enemy here is the anxiety. So, what's actually happening in our brains that makes this loop so darn powerful? Let's take a look at the hidden forces that are really keeping us stuck. Well, when it comes to investing, you've basically got a civil war going on in your head. On one side, you have your rational brain. It sees the charts, it gets the math of compound interest, and it's saying, let's do this, start now. But then there's your emotional brain, the one that's designed to keep you safe from immediate danger. It's just screaming about everything that could possibly go wrong. It wants safety right now. And this internal fight gets a massive power-up from a psychological quirk called loss aversion. Researchers actually won a Nobel Prize for this stuff. They figured out that for our brains, the pain of losing, say, $100 is roughly twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining that same $100. You can see that imbalance right here. Your brain is not playing fair. The scales are totally tipped. That fear of loss feels way more real, way more urgent than the idea of some future gain. And that's exactly why doing nothing can feel like the safest option, even when it's actually the most costly one. And, to make everything even worse, we live in an age of just infinite choice. There are thousands of funds, dozens of apps and brokerages, and this overload triggers something called analysis paralysis. Your brain sees all these choices, interprets them as risk, and that just pours gasoline on the anxiety fire, making that loop even tighter. So, what's the real, tangible cost of trying to stay safe by waiting on the sidelines? Let's actually look at why playing it safe is probably the riskiest financial move you can make. Okay, let's make this super concrete. Let's say you've managed to save up $3,000. It's sitting there, ready to go. But that anxiety loop, it's got you stuck. What's the real damage of delaying? The cost of waiting is this number, $20,000. Yeah. That is roughly the amount of potential growth you could just throw away by letting anxiety keep you on the sidelines for only 5 years. And that's not because of some big market crash, it's simply because you never got started.
Let's just look at the raw numbers here. If you invest that $3,000 today, in 30 years, it could grow to about $52,000. Pretty amazing, right? But if you wait just 5 years to invest that exact same amount, your final value gets chopped down to around $32,000. That 5-year delay, it cost you $20,000. $20,000 of growth you can never get back.
So how do we actually break this cycle? Well, it starts with a really simple but powerful shift in how you look at the problem. It starts by changing the one question that's keeping you trapped. See, the money anxiety loop is fueled by this question right here. It's all about what could go wrong. It focuses entirely on the potential for a temporary loss, and it demands an answer of absolute certainty in a world that just doesn't offer it.
The way out is to flip the script and ask yourself this instead. This new question completely reframes the entire decision. It moves your focus away from the possibility of loss and toward the certainty of loss, the guaranteed loss of your most valuable asset, time.
And the second you truly get this, the loop starts to break. You realize the real risk isn't the market going up or down in the short term. The real risk is the cold, hard fact that every single day you wait is a day of compound growth that is gone forever. Okay, so let's get really practical. Here's a simple 3-step plan to escape the loop. The whole trick is taking actions that are so ridiculously small your anxiety doesn't even have time to flare up. First, just open the account. Seriously, that's it. Don't even worry about putting money in it yet. Spend 15 minutes, open a retirement account like a Roth IRA. Done. This breaks the inertia. Second, Invest a small amount that feels almost silly, maybe $100. The point isn't to get rich, it's just to get your skin in the game. And third, automate everything. Set up a tiny monthly contribution, maybe even just $50. When it's automatic, the anxiety has nothing to grab onto. And let's just quickly blow up those last few excuses. What if you need the money? That's what your emergency fund is for, a totally separate bucket of cash. What if the market crashes? Well, it will. That's a guarantee. And when it does, your automatic contributions just keep going, buying up assets while they're on sale. And what if you're doing it wrong? Honestly, for long-term investing, consistently putting money in a broad, diversified index fund is one of the simplest and most proven strategies out there. The final piece of this whole puzzle is understanding how taking these little actions actually rewires your brain and completely changes your mindset about building wealth.
This is the absolute key to breaking the loop for good. So many of us wait to feel confident before we start investing, but that's completely backwards. Confidence doesn't come first. Confidence is the result of taking action. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to start.
Because once you start, something really cool happens. Your anxiety doesn't just vanish into thin air, but it transforms. That paralyzing fear of the unknown, it turns into a manageable awareness of the normal ups and downs of the market. Your brain actually learns and recalibrates, understanding that a dip isn't a disaster. Experience becomes your best teacher.
So, we'll end on this. The money anxiety loop isn't just an emotion, it's a thief. It is actively stealing your single most valuable financial asset, which is time. And the only question left for you to answer is, are you going to let it